Welcome everyone to today's IAPC&M CPD Building Masterclass. So my name is Julie Kennedy and I'm your host back in The Hague in sunny, for now, the Netherlands, but it seems to be alternating an awful lot. Today on the hot seat, we have expert guest speaker, business support consultant and mentor Kayleigh Bishop. Full of expertise, and a very interesting fact about her, I thought this was so funny, is that let alone running her business and mothering 2 little girls, she also looks after 11 chicken, 3 horses, 4 guinea pigs, a rabbit, and her devoted pooch Marcella, and that is without mentioning the husband. I like the fact the husband arrives completely last on the list. So welcome, Kayleigh. A little bit of housekeeping before we get into our topic. So our call today will be a maximum of 1 hour, and that includes 15 minutes Q&A. Unless you have a burning issue, I would say we keep the questions till the end, but feel free to write them down in the comments as we go along. Like that, you're sure to find them afterwards. The session is recorded, so please mute yourself unless you're asking a question or have been asked to unmute. But otherwise, do keep the video on. It makes it so much nicer to actually see who we're talking to or who the speaker's talking to. So use the chat box for anything you want. I hope you have your CPD pad and your pens ready. Right, so our topic today is client keepers, and I think that is a very important one to have indeed, right? Let alone finding them, we need to keep them. Here we go, and all over to you, Kayleigh. Enjoy, everyone.
Thank you very much for having me. Hello, everybody. I am Kayleigh Bishop, and my business is Flowright Business Solutions. So I provide business support, consultancy and mentoring businesses to other service-based businesses. Predominantly work with coaches, therapists, trainers, and I have a huge passion for relationships and communication. Hence why I want to do this talk today, because it really will have a major impact on your business and its longevity. So I am just going to share my screen. Bear with me. Okay, can everybody see my presentation? Yeah, wonderful. Okie dokie. I'm just going to minimize this at the top here. Okay, if you've got any burning questions, you put it in the chat. Julie, could you let me know, because I can't quite see at the moment. Okay, let's kick off. So quick introduction. So this workshop is designed to help you cultivate long-lasting and meaningful relationships with your clients, and keep those clients that you really want and that add value to your business. And similarly, ultimately, you add value to their organization. So we're going to go through why does it matter? Why does it matter to have these meaningful relationships with your clients? It starts with you, the ABCD, client profile, how to assess, aligning core values, understanding client personas, going that extra mile, and then we'll have some questions and answers at the end, if that's okay. So why does it matter? So reduce client acquisition costs. So the longer you can keep your clients, the less you will need, well, not the less you'll need to do, but you won't have that high turnover rate. Keeping those clients longer, it reduces your costs. Again, so that goes down to higher retention rates. And again, that's maximize efficiency. So the less time you're faffing around onboarding new clients because you're turning them over too often. I know some businesses do have a high turnover of clients because of the nature of their business, but everybody can maximize that efficiency. Fewer conflict and issues. A more predictable revenue stream. So the longer you can keep those clients and those relationships going, you can predict your cash flow a little bit better. Better utilization of resources. So knowing your clients, you know what you need to service them, and they stay a long time. And again, enhance lifetime value. So the longer clients stay with you, the higher their value is to your business. And I also find that it's empowering to do it to you. If you've got clients that stay with you for a long time, it really makes you feel like, you know, you're doing a good job. There's a sense of purpose to what you're doing. And it creates a culture, company culture that you want. So if you're keeping those long-term clients because they fit your business model and your values, It just creates a culture that feels right. You want to go to work every day. You want to talk to your clients every day. You don't have that fear or anxiety of running your business most of the time. So it starts with you. So think about your mission. Why are you in business? What do you want to achieve? And what's your mission statement? How many people have actually got that written down, maybe stuck up on their wall? They know what they're working for every single day. Pre-qualify your prospects. So think of it as if you're recruiting team members. So if you've worked in an organization, recruiting a team member, you know exactly what you need or what you want from an employee. That works with our clients as well. So make sure you've got a list of things that you want and need from your clients. Plan who you want to attract. Again, we'll go through the pre-qualifying process shortly. That's a major part of this presentation. And start as you mean to go on. So if you get the planning right at the beginning, you're going to reduce those issues and conflicts early on. And again, like your mission, you need to know your core values. What are your core values? What do they mean to you and your business? What are they actively going to do for your business? So the ABCD client profile, not sure if anyone is familiar with this. It's a very good technique out there. So you've got 4 levels of clients. We're going to start back to front. So we're going to work with the D clients. These are the clients we don't really want to have. They're problematic clients. They're misaligned with our values. They cause strain on the business. They can be bad payers, really poor communicators, really demanding. So they're the ones that pick up the phone and say, oh, Kayleigh, I need you to do this for me right now. That's not how we work. So they're your D clients, and they cost the business money. You don't want that. C clients, so they're the next step up. They don't fully align with our business, but they're a transactional need. So they probably are bread and butter. So they might be our clients that come into us every now and then. Hi, can you do X, Y, and Z for me? They're not that committed to us, but they do appreciate us. And there is, again, going back to the D clients, they can always move up to a C client if they're managed effectively. So the next step, the B client, these are good clients. They might need a little nurturing to become your A clients. They probably have this similar or same values as you. They're good payers. They like to communicate. They're efficient, or at least they're trying to be efficient. And they work with your processes and they respect you. A clients, these are our ideal clients. They align well with our business. They have the same values as us or very similar values. They provide great business. They bang the drum for us and they're loyal to us. And they're the clients we all want to aspire to. And again, like I said, we can always move our clients up. Some clients, I'd say a good proportion of clients can start at C clients, but those good ones, the client keepers, we can move them up into A clients. So how do we assess them and how do we categorize them? So we can look at revenue, analyze how much each client generates for your business. So A or B clients are your high revenue generators. C or D might be low. So they might be the little ad hoc jobs in my case, or the revenue generators are like, for me, those retainers and those long lasting committed clients that want to work with me long time. Engagement. So how engaged are your clients with your products or services? Do they respond well? Do they provide you with feedback? Again, like I said earlier, do they bang the drum for you? Do they celebrate successes? Do they share on social media? Do they talk about you in networking events? Or do they just come for what they want and what they need? Those who champion you are your A and B clients. Those who just come for what they need, and that is absolutely fine. Some people just come for what they need. That's absolutely fine. And if you're comfortable with that, that's great. But we categorize them into the C and D section. So interaction, this is a really, really important part of business. So how easy is it to work with your clients? Are they responsive and proactive? Do they sit on emails for a long time and then respond and then want an immediate response from you? They're generally C and D clients. Or if they're very proactive, they give you, they communicate well, they give you very good instructions, they have processes sort of outline what to expect. They get A and Bs. And do they work with your processes? So when you start out with clients, particularly I do, we have a set of boundaries. So what to expect from the service. Do they respect that? Do they work with that? If they don't, and they're constantly, demanding that little bit more, but again, they're the bad payers as well, they're your D clients. So that's interaction. So value alignment, do they share the same or similar core values? Now, this is really, really important, and actually something that is really overlooked when you're seeking clients. Imagine, so coming from a horsey animal background, I'm thinking, this is a bit of a controversial one. I don't really know why I'm thinking this, but it's always the first one that comes to mind. So you like horse riding. Your other person likes horse riding. They like fox hunting. You're very anti fox hunting. That's not a very good sharing of values, because you're sort of thinking about animal welfare, etc. Sorry, very controversial subject. Okay, maybe thinking about respect. So respect is one of my core values. If a client comes into the business and they don't respect my time, they don't respect my communication preferences, they don't respect paying me on time, that misaligns completely with my core values. So we're not going to be a good match to work with. That's an idea. We'll go into that a little bit further a bit later on. Now, growth potential. Is there growth potential with that client? Do you think you're going to be able to work with them long term? Are there going to be more projects? Are they going to come back to you? Do you think they're going to increase their spend with you? And then opportunities to strengthen your relationship. So it's not always necessarily a financial transaction. Are there collaborative opportunities? Are you going to be able to go out and create, like, work? Are you going to be able to do workshops together? Just adds value to your business and their business and that relationship. Stagnant clients may always sit at a C, so they might be the people that tick along with you. They're probably your bread and butter. They're good, they're healthy, but there's always the option to move them up to, or there might be the option to move them up to Bs and As. So aligning our core values, the why. So it builds a foundation of trust. When you share similar core values, you build mutual trust and respect. Goes without saying. You relate to each other, and I think that's a natural human instinct. We want to feel connected with each other, and that strengthens relationships. Trust is key in longevity in business. If you haven't got trust, it's not going to last. Decision making. So alignment helps to reduce challenges when making decisions. So if you're well aligned, you'll be able to have conversations, you'll be able to do your planning together, and you'll be able to get results a lot quicker, smoother, and faster. And commitment. If you resonate with each other, you are likely to stay together. If, again, like I mentioned earlier, if your values are really far apart from each other, or they're just not similar at all, it's not a recipe to work in the long term. And they'll also champion you, and they'll stay loyal to you. Cultural fit. So do they fit with your model? So their values and your values, if they fit together, again, it's a beautiful recipe. And they enhance your culture. Like I said right at the beginning, if you know what your core values are and you share those with your clients, you're building a beautiful culture together. People want to come in and work with you. They want to work with you. That's the whole purpose. It reduces challenges and you have smoother relationships. So that in turn does reduce conflict. Conflict is time consuming. How many times do you have to have a meeting to talk about the same issue? Unresolved conflict is costly for your business. Again, all of this actually doesn't actually apply just to your clients. You can actually apply this to your teams, but it is costly. Understanding each other and expectations. If your core values don't align, you're not really going to have a good understanding of each other. And your expectations can differ, and that can really cause issues. It doesn't mean one or the other is better than the other. You're just not well aligned at all. And again, that can be costly, both financially, reputational, however. So understanding client personas, this is really important, and something everybody can do right from the start. So even before you start taking on your clients or even thinking about your clients, do empathy mapping. Not sure if anyone's familiar. If you've worked with me, you'll know what this is. What do your clients think, feel, and do? Really dive deep into their behaviours. So what are they thinking before they come to you to take out your service? What are they feeling? And what are they doing? And then think about when they come to you, what do you want them to think? What do you want them to feel? And what do you want them to do once they start working with you? If you can get into the minds of your clients and really identify their motivators, drivers, their concerns, what they want, you're going to have a fantastic relationship. And not only that, you're going to deliver results. So asking the right questions. So think about before you have these. So it could be a discovery call. It could be one-to-ones when you're at networking events. Because again, when you're talking with people at networking events, you're building those relationships. They could be potential clients. They could be for somebody else. Compile a list of questions. Think about what you want for the business and ask those questions to get your answers. So set gentle challenges. Do you favour slower, methodical decision-making, or do you prefer fast-paced, quick decision-making? Some people do like, slower pace, going through things. Some people like fast, quick pace. Come on, let's get on, let's do it. Does that work for you? Does that work for them? If you're at other ends of the spectrum, it could cause a little bit of a challenge. So that's something to think about. What values drive your decision making? So understanding what their drivers are helps you to work with them when you're working towards those goals and those results. So how do you measure the success of a project? So you're asking them how they measure the success of the project. Sorry, mumbling. That helps you to understand where they're at and what their expectations might be, and you can prepare. One of my favorites, psychodynamic testing, so things like DISC profiling and Myers-Briggs. So this is once they're on board, you've perhaps identified they're a good client to work with. You can go that extra mile and get them to do a DISC profile or take the Myers-Briggs. This really helps you to dive deeper and understand what they're all about, what their internal drivers and motivations are, and how to approach those challenging conversations, those day-to-day conversations. How do they like to work? What should I be aware of that might trigger them? Really, really useful. And then again, this is one of my favorites: invest in communication models to help you improve your communication style. Really understand human behavior. There are models out there like the emotional assertiveness model, compassionate accountability, process communication. If you're really serious about improving relationships, think about, just buy the books. You don't have to do the courses, just buy the books and learn tools that will help you improve your transactions with your clients. And going that extra mile. This is something I do with my clients. I like to celebrate birthdays and special occasions. Again, you need to know this information. So you need to know your clients. Obviously, some people are a little bit more reserved and don't like sharing all of their detail. But again, that goes back to values. Do we like that personal touch? If people aren't really interested in being that close in building a relationship, they're probably not for you. But anyway, so yeah, celebrate birthdays and special occasions. Maybe just send them a card or send them a little cake in the letterbox. And celebrate length of service. I love this one. If you've got a particular milestone with a client, like say you've come to 2 years of service together, send them a really nice gift to show that you appreciate their business. Goodwill gestures. So from time to time, for my valued clients, or for most of my clients, I always do goodwill gestures for them. They appreciate that. Thank yous and appreciation. From time to time, just a simple thank you. I appreciate you. So sometimes in an email, just tell them I appreciate you. Thank you for your business. Recommendations. So if you're working with a client and you know they're really good at what they do, recommend them to other people. Help them build their business. Take note of what they talk about in conversations with you. So if you're having a one-to-one catch-up and they're mentioning something that's happened in the family, remember that. And later on down the line, when you're having another catch-up, follow up. How is that going? Have things improved? It shows you care. Get to know them as an individual, keeping it human. So again, going back to that, what drives them? And I'm not talking just in business. What do they like doing outside of business? What is their purpose? Getting up in the morning. What do they like to do in the morning? That just get to know them. It does make it more human. So I feel like I've totally blasted through that. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have unmuted myself. Wow, yes. I mean, I'm scribbling. I've got pages and pages of it here. Are there any questions? Don't be shy. I mean, the rest of those on Facebook Live and the replay don't have a chance to ask questions, but at least those of you here right now can. I mean, what questions? I was thinking of something. There were some fabulous tips. I mean, I do love all of this. It's that human touch which makes you stand out compared to someone else. I mean, I've been scribbling length. I have a few clients who've been with me for years and years. I'm thinking, I've never said, hey, Harriet, you know what? We've been working together for 5 years whatsoever. I think that's a lovely thing to think of. So yes, lots of tips, very straightforward, but at the same time, so straightforward that we probably don't actually specifically think of all these individual components like you brought it there. So I'm very grateful that you make stuff that we maybe take for granted, bring it to the fore, and so that we can ask ourselves, I think for lots of us, we're just so desperate for clients, we just say basically yes to everyone. I mean, I'm a bit like that. I mean, I just say yes to everyone, but listening to you talk, I mean, I do have a certain amount of clients who certainly cost me more than I get from them. who are hard to work with, who indeed just send me apps and they think I'm going to answer immediately, or an awful lot of them who are also friends, because then lots of people, because I do communication on a large scale, they then become friends, but then they think that they can just ask me 25 times a day, how do you say this in English, and how would you word this? And it's only recently that I've learned to say, no, this is actually how I earn my bread and butter. I also need to respect my knowledge. So thank you for all of that. I mean, I've just written so much in the end. I appeared so abruptly. I didn't have any perfectly succinct questions. Gabriella, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot at all, but I can actually see you. Is there anything that's just vaguely in your mind while you were listening?
I think it's a very good model. I felt very inspired, and I have noted also here some gifts for clients. I totally, I don't know, not avoiding, but I have too much working sometimes. Then I forget to do this, and it is really important. Yes. So a very insightful presentation till now.
One thing, Kayleigh,
that's another thing. Sorry, Julie.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, as part of this process with your client keepers, well, one thing I didn't touch on is make time to analyze your clients on a regular basis. So perhaps on a quarterly or at least on a 6-month basis, make sure you're analyzing what's going on in your business. So who are your clients? Where are they sitting in terms of your ABCD profile? You can do this with your CRM system. So if you have something like Zoho, you can add tags to them. So you can list them as your A, B, C, or D. And again, you can change those tags and you can evaluate, if they're moving up or down, how much they're costing you. So if you've got the financial reporting, and talk to your team. So if you've got a team of people, speak to them about your clients, ask them how easy they are to work with, what could be improved, because it's not always, if you have a team, it's not always your clients being difficult. Sometimes you need to make some changes internally. But you won't know unless you analyze. Make time for it. It is really important. And again, that comes back to like the KPI. I love KPIs and business analysis. Make sure you make time on a quarterly or a 6-monthly basis.
That's also a very good tip. And I mean, I realize, of course, as soon as I finish, I make copious notes on what and the rest, but not on a like evaluation side of the client. So, for example, okay, I like those 4 categories. I mean, I just sort of basically had those that I enjoy working with and those that I don't, but do it because it's money, and because I think, well, okay, I always learn something from them, even if it's not how, if it's don't be like that sort of thing. But I mean, so how do you suggest, do you turn clients literally away? Do you sort of like qualify them and then sort of say, well, maybe we're not a good match?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, for me, why would I work with somebody who I already know before we've even got to the contract stage that it's going to be hard work? Why would, or maybe not necessarily just hard work, we're just not well aligned, perhaps. So quite a while back, I knew somebody, and we had a discovery call, and I knew I could help them. But as soon as that contract was sent, they were already quibbling about payment dates, how they pay. And I just thought, okay, we haven't even signed the contract yet, and you're already quibbling about how this is going to work. If you're not interested in paying on time, my terms are very, very simple, very simple. I just thought, you know what? Don't think we're going to work together, because I don't tolerate that.
And so you actually go back and say that to them, sort of say, I can tell you've got
no. I can see that's an issue with them, and I would go back to them, and I did say to her, I said, just having a little think about things. I don't think we're well aligned. I don't think I'm the best fit for you. But I always give a solution to the issue. So I will maybe think about somebody who would work with them, or who would work well with them. So instead of just saying, no, I don't want to work with you, suggest somebody else that might work with them, or where they can go to look for somebody, so you're not just shutting the door on them.
And would you sort of take almost like a middle way where you sort of say very honestly, look, you know, I can already tell there's a lot of resistance here. I only work with clients who are ready to move forward and who are prepared to you know, to follow my guidelines or whatever it is, my rules or my, you know, whatever's in a contract. Are you sure you're ready to go forward?
Yeah, absolutely. Like John Parr teaches, be open and honest.
Yeah,
Talk about your feelings authentically.
yeah.
If you're not, you're covering up those issues. You're not dealing with the issue at hand, because they might not know. They might not know that
Yes.
that is why they're not going to be able to work with you. And that might actually hinder them working with other people. So they might not actually
Yeah,
know. The way you deliver those messages is obviously very important.
I like that.
Um,
Because it also
again,
shows
don't
self-worth, right? Your self-worth. It shows that, you know, you value your
absolutely,
time. It's not like, okay, well, okay, I don't particularly like them, but, you know, pay the rent or whatsoever. It's at some point to say, well,
exactly,
no, it's actually costing me more. And I mean, you can tell, right? You know, the people who at the end of the workday, you're still, you know, like drained. You know, my partner will say to me, oh, right, you know, you look like, you know, one of those Death Eaters has, you know, sucked all your energy out of you. So that isn't what we want to have. We also need to respect our own time and our own energy and only choose I mean, for me, it's been quite a recent phenomena that I do that. So I find it wonderful to see, you know, younger women who are already doing that. Me, it's quite recent that I'm stricter in what my terms and conditions are, and that I tell also people, look, no, you know, no more of these little freebies left, right, and center, you know, and but also
exactly.
in terms of, you know, the more negative or difficult ones. And putting your boundaries there, I guess. You know, that's what we're also teaching other people, isn't it? Or teaching, not teaching, but, you know, that is part of our process as coaches, that we teach or help people value all of who they are. And if we let ourselves be walked all over like a doormat, then that's not actually walking the talk.
Exactly, and that is a very good example. So if you're letting your client walk over you like a doormat, and perhaps you're helping your client with their clients, what kind of example does that set to your client? Do you let their clients walk over you as well? Is that going to get
Yeah,
them the results they want? It's not. So, and again, it comes back
exactly.
to, a lot of it comes back to respect for me. If a
Yes.
client has respect for you, um, you know, they will respect your time. They will
Mm.
respect communication preferences. They will respect processes, how you like to work. Um, you know, if and again, we're all very different. We're all very different, and it comes back to that um, understanding. We're not all the same, but what can we do to make this work?
Right.
If we can't make this work in terms of business, it's sometimes it is better to just
Yeah.
cut it off and not go there.
But I guess that's why it does make sense, this dialogue, because, you know, if we do want to make it work, it goes both ways, right? So they need to also know what they would then potentially need to change in order to work with you if they're still set. I see Claire has written really interesting. Thank you so much. So do feel free, Claire or Simon, if you want to put your questions, if you have any in the chat, if you for some reason are not able to be on video. What else? But so maybe just where then before we end off, Kayleigh, unless Gabriella has any other questions. So what sort of people come to you? How does even your process work?
Oh, question. A lot of people come to me through referrals now. Um, so they they know that I'm working with other people. They like what I do. They've seen what I've done for other businesses, and they want to get involved. So they're generally business owners who want to. They're either startups who want some help and guidance moving forward quickly. You know, they've got that growth mindset. They want all the knowledge. They want to start off on a really strong foot. And they might, so for example, a coach or therapist, they might be really good in their therapy section, but they hate the business side. That's a great proportion of my business. They love what they do as individuals, but they hate all the business stuff. I thrive on that.
I think a lot of us can relate to that. I see Gabriella nodding as well. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's the combining both of it, or the selling, you know, or that, you know, those sides where we do need to work harder on it.
Definitely. Or a lot of them are at the growth stage, sort of predominantly where a lot of my clients are at the moment. They're growing the business, but you start to get into those bottlenecks when you don't have the resources to expand. So they come for some help. I do have a team, so generally I come in and do the management stuff, and I actually do a lot of the hands-on work. But where necessary, I do have a team supporting in the background to do extra stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's knowing if you do want to scale up, you know, just, you know, what you need to put in place. So it's very holistic then what you do. It's the communication side, but it's also very much the whole big picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of my services as well, the support is there for us to do the work for you. We will do the work for you.
Okay.
But then the consultancy and mentoring, I find, is really, really good for those people who they might not be ready for somebody to come in and work in their business right now, but they want that support. They either want a wing woman or wing person to help and support them, or they want the knowledge. They want the knowledge to know how to do these things and implement it themselves. And I love that because I guess that aligns with my values. People want the knowledge to do the best for their business.
No, but those are good points. And also, I mean, for lots of solopreneurs, it's lonely, right? And having that sparring partner is already good, but you know, to have a sparring partner who actually has the knowledge, you know, so that we don't have to recreate the wheel and spend, you know, we might get there in the end, but you know, we might lose an awful lot of time and resources, you know, going from A to B, whereas somebody with the knowledge can point you in the right direction, and in the right direction for you, right? Because there's so much information out there, but it's finding what is relevant to us, to our values, to our business style, etc. Well, look, Kayleigh, thank you very much. I mean, I'm sure we could keep talking to you forever, but I'm sure you've got a lot of animals to get back to. And this was, you know, this was very much, you know, content rich. I've written down all those notes, and we will have the replay, right? So if we've missed some of it. Oh, Claire, you're waving. Are you saying goodbye, or do you want to ask something? Aha.
Just give me a little round of applause.
Oh, she's giving me a round of applause.
Thank you so much. It was so interesting. I really enjoyed it. So great content. And sorry, I can't put my camera on because it's blowing a gale here and my Wi-Fi keeps dropping.
No worries, but thank you for your feedback. Lovely to hear you. Thank you, Claire. And thank you. Yes, Kayleigh, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'd love to connect with everybody on LinkedIn. So if we're not connected, I'd love to connect with you. And if you would like any more information sort of about the services I offer, I'm happy to send that over to you. And I'm also doing a little offer for anybody who's a member of the International Authority. My focus series mentoring, so it's a 6-week one-to-one program where we talk about specific challenges in the business, sort of help you get over those. So it could be anything from messaging, communication skills, confidence building, how to implement processes. It's usually £570 for a 6-week one-to-one program. I'm offering that to members and anyone that attends here today, that for £425. But you can go to my LinkedIn, book a call, say hi, we can have a chat. That would be wonderful.
Lovely, lovely. Well, we should connect anyway, right? It's always enriching to have people like you. I mean, I dare say your content is also very inspiring for all of us to follow what you're doing in that realm and keep it present in our minds as well, right? You know, as you say, it's not just you do it once. I'm just writing down the names. Yep. Right. Thank you very much, Gabriella. Well done, Claire too, and Simon, of course, as well. We haven't seen, etc., for making time for improvement, for developing, etc. Here, Kayleigh, thank you very much to you for having, shared your expertise and your valuable time with us. I do very much suggest you look at your notes and, more importantly, think about what are you going to implement and actually take action, that it's not just a notebook full of great ideas. And of course, these are CPD points. And I look very forward to the next one. Kayleigh, see you on LinkedIn. Good luck, Gabriella, Claire,
Thank you so
Simon.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.